Power up. Get over here!
Hello, everybody out there on YouTube. Once again, it is the three middle-aged guys just bullshitting about nothing. I am the Reverend.
The theme here.
Gray Mouse 1.
And we're going to talk about, well, I wouldn't say everybody's favorite company, but a company that a lot of gamers probably know about and maybe wish they could go ahead and forget about. We're going to talk about Konami. What's happened over the last few weeks is that Konami's, it looks like their PR manager or their social media manager, who goes by the name of Ben, has been going around mostly on Reddit, putting up posts defending Konami and their actions. Okay, and I understand he's an employee, so this is kind of his job. Well, the funny thing about that is that during the time he was doing that, he kind of let slip what Konami's plans would be for certain games like the Metal Gear games without Kojima being around. And pretty much his whole purpose behind all of this is that he openly said that Konami hopes that they earn your trust back as gamers. Okay. Now, generally speaking, how can I sum this up? Fuck Konami. Okay, generally speaking, fuck Konami. All right. But
Konami makes me want to take a whole bunch of these all at once.
Yeah. I cannot recall a long-established gaming company falling so fast and so hard from the good graces of gamers than I have from fucking Konami. Because the thing is that, well, no, the thing about Atari is that I think
I have to throw that out there.
I think before everybody
comparison.
I think before everybody kind of before Konami, excuse me, before Atari ended up in the position, you know, especially initially back in 1982, 1983, people really didn't know who to blame. They didn't know who was attached, all right? Mm-hmm. And then when Atari came back and they did the whole Jaguar thing, people really didn't know what was going on. And they were like, well, guess what? It didn't hurt all that because Nintendo, Sega, and Sony were around. So it really didn't hurt all that bad. But Konami, the thing with Konami is that they've kind of been there since the very fucking beginning. You know, not only with the NES, but also in arcades back in the day. Mm-hmm. And generally speaking, as far as a lot of goodwill goes, for a long time there, even with the games that they put out that weren't so stellar, there really wasn't anything that they really didn't generate a lot of ill will within gamers, you know. And then the whole thing, you know, people started questioning, you know, why is Kojima's name not showing up on the Metal Gear credits, or why are certain projects being put on hold? And then the stories and the firsthand reports that, you know, things within Konami headquarters itself in Japan was being hellish for developers, that you know, workers would end up in the doghouse and that it was like a lot of thought policing and fucking, you know, whistleblowing within a whole bunch of the workers and everything else. And then they went out of their way to completely, like, not only remove Kojima from all of his projects, but then they barred him from talking publicly or showing up anywhere. And yeah, the writing was on the wall. Not only were they going through, I think every company goes through a period where they do foolish decisions, right?
That was ridiculous.
Yeah, not only ridiculous, but people were like, these guys are just being fucking assholes.
Yeah.
Not just to their own coworkers, but to the fans too.
Yeah.
And all to go out of their way to fucking decide to make goddamn pachinko machines.
What makes it worse is a lot of people think that they're above EA. In the bullshit. I mean, and how much people hate them. I mean, a lot of people hate EA, but, you know, majority of gamers hate Konami right now.
Yeah.
Well, that's because Konami is not a game company anymore.
Mm-hmm. And, you know, to me, the only way that Konami could ever bring me back to their games, bring me back to their brand, would for Konami to fire all top brass. Every one of them. Just clean motherfucking house and start over. That would be the only way. They're not getting me back. Yes, I love the Metal Gear Solids, and I love the Castlevanias, you know, but and the Silent Hills.
But you're not getting them anymore.
Yeah.
You know, but that's the ultimate point about all this.
What I'm saying is,
okay, trying to earn our trust back. Okay, then like Grey Mouse just said, you need to clean house. You need to rebrand this fucking product, and you need to go back to fucking games that we know and love, franchises that we know and love. Like Grey Mouse just said, Castlevania. I want Gradius. Damn it. I mean, look, Metal Gear. That's a fucking given.
Even Silent Hill.
Yeah. That, again, a given. But
you know, I mean,
let's look at the cornerstone of Konami, as it was for the NES and the SNES, and you know, back in the day. You could not pick a very bad Konami game. I mean, even shit like Top Gun, Double Dribble, Track and Field, Blades of Steel, Russian Attack, Contra. All this shit was Konami. And most of the games that I named were in motherfuckers' libraries. Period.
And still are.
Yeah, exactly. And like I said, again, I miss Gradius. Damn it. It's one of the best shooters ever. And to give up all of that. And most of those titles are gold mines.
Well, not only just those titles. I mean, even if they just went out of their way and they started releasing some of that stuff for like fucking Virtual Console, you know, they would just.
The funniest thing about that is, like, for PlayStation now, the Metal Gears aren't even there.
Well, with the Virtual Console for the Nintendo, you still see the Castlevanias. You could get that off the Virtual Console. So there are some games that are on
Castlevania 1 and 2 are going to be on the NES Mini.
Yep.
That was really surprising, being the state of that Konami's in right now. But the thing is, though, we told the gamer group, the gamers, we told Konami, this is what's going to happen if you focus away from games.
Yep.
And what the fuck happened? This is like, we told you so bullshit. Seriously. Your fucking pachinko machines failed.
Well,
now they're trying to crawl back to us. So basically, you know, you bit the hand that fed you, and now you're coming back. You're fucking, you got a empty stomach now, and you're asking to be fed again. It's not going to happen without the whole top brass just saying, I'm resigning to the CEO. All the way up. I mean, all the way up. They got to go. And they got to publicly apologize to Kojima and even Agarashi, the guy, all these people that they fucked over.
You know what? I have this mental picture of a dozen or half a dozen to a dozen Konami corporate officers sitting out in the courtyard of the Konami building or Konami headquarters, all dressed in white gowns, okay, with Tonto blades in front of them, all ready to commit seppuku, with letters of apology. Now, like I said, it's just a mental picture. I know it's not going to happen.
Who's going to be the samurai that chop their heads off?
Screw
that, man. They just need to suffer. Screw that instant death shit. No, they need to suffer. They just need to.
Well, now look. I remember when I did a video that, you know, they had an increase of profit of 100 and something percent, 150%, I think, and I'm like, that's bullshit. I didn't believe that for a second. I thought it was absolute lip service because I'm like, how the fuck are they making their profit? Is the Pachinko games really paying off? I didn't think so.
Here's the thing, you know, and the pachinko payoffs are pretty much controlled by the Yakuza anyway. So it's not like they're seeing all of that cash, you know. Let's just be honest. All right. No,
And you know what? I really hate this. Konami could do no wrong a couple decades ago. That
couple decades ago, last fucking year until all the bullshit came out.
Yeah.
Konami,
look, they had Contra 4 for the fucking yes, that was good. And you know, look at when Gradius 5 came out. And I'm just like, all right, just get back to this. They could have had another track and field game for the fucking Kinect. If they could have did that shit right, just like, you know, DDRs. Why didn't they have that for the fucking Kinect? Why didn't VR? They could jump on VR for these consoles. Think about it. If most of these games would go virtual reality or whatever, or have it just, you know, the game right there and shit, I would love to do that to Gradius. Have that shit right there. And
so, okay, you said track and field, DDR, Gradius, Contra, VR. I mentioned classics. So you're telling me that Konami just has to go back to fucking games?
but you know, at this particular point in time, though, I don't really think they could. If they go game centric again, I don't really think that's going to turn anybody around, because that's not going to change, you know, people's viewpoints.
Well, here's the thing: if they go back to games and they put out good games, all right. And the thing is that it's really not up to them as a publisher. If they're smart enough, they find a development team who's going to be able to put out a good game that's going to be available through them. Gamers, I got to say, are fickle. And if you have something that's good out there, they're going to want it. Okay, I know this from general experience. All right, from my own personal experience. Now, does that mean that there are certain franchises or certain game companies that I haven't sworn off before? No, that does not mean that. There are certain franchises and certain game publishers and developers that I will not touch. You know, and that's just how that is. You know, I've been burned many times.
Imagine, you see, this is funny. Imagine if EA just totally said, fuck it, we're getting out of games. Imagine the gold mines that they would be giving up. Now, I don't personally buy shit like Madden, but imagine if EA gave that shit up. That would be the dumbest move on every level. Konami had just gold mines of stuff in gaming. They could have branched out with pachinko stuff and still did games.
Yeah. No, I mean, you know, if EA went out of their way and said, "Hey, look, all we're doing is fucking is doing PopGap games and mobile applications," you know, I think everybody universally, even the people who fucking hate EA, would say that is stupid and suicidal.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you thinking?
Yeah. Look, Bejeweled games won't sell that much in order to keep them the fuck afloat. It's just wouldn't happen. You know, that's just no. So, like you said, all they have to do is just go back to fucking games. It doesn't make any sense. Now, wait, earn our trust back?
Show us some games. I'm not asking you to look at your dick
on consoles.
Some games. Yeah.
On consoles.
Let me ask you a question, though. Would you guys be willing to buy another Konami game? Let's say if they're...
Really depends on what it is. Look at the game.
What the title is?
Wait, look at the games I mentioned earlier. It really depends here. You know, fucking...
Here's something that I would entertain. if they made an updated version of Parodius, I would entertain that. And that's not even a well-known game. I'm just going to say right now, they announced that they're planning on continuing the Metal Gear series. This may seem sacrilegious, but I don't give fuck all about Metal Gear, and I haven't really haven't seriously given fuck all about Metal Gear since Metal Gear 2, Metal Gear Solid 2, Sons of the Patriots. You know, I'm just
of Restriction.
What was that?
I said Daughters of Restriction.
Oh, Daughters of Restriction. Yeah.
Well, it's Sons of Liberty, Daughters of Restriction. That's what I call Metal Gear Solid 2.
Yeah. Metro Sword Swinger Ninjas Unite is more like it. Okay. But the thing about Konami is that there used to be a point where they would go out of their way, and they were kind of like Nintendo, where it was like, look, we can go ahead and we can mess around with how things are played. We can mess around with the direction that we take our development, not just in the way that, not just in genre, but in the way that games are played. That's how the whole Bimani series came about, you know?
Right.
Because if you think about it, motion controls really isn't Nintendo's idea. If you think about it, okay? The ability to go out of their way to use something other than your standard joystick and button setup, that's been perfected by Konami even before the Wii even fucking was a twinkle in Iwata's eye. You know, that's just how that is. And it befuddles me completely that you have a game company that has, you know, easily over 30 years of fucking history.
Easily.
And yeah, 29 of those really fucking solid, positive, you know, filled with positive feedback and sentiment from gamers and fans. And then just to fall out the way they did is just,
Well,
I don't think you could write fiction better than that. Let's just be honest.
For the last 15 minutes, we've been ragging on Konami. There's other companies that are not as bad as Konami, but still make some boneheaded decisions and receive the same amount of hate.
Sega is the top of the list. Sega is pretty much the top of the list. Capcom is up there as well for me.
Yeah, they've been climbing steadily.
Well, Capcom, for me, they were climbing. Then they started coming back a little bit. Then they climbing again. It's like they're not learning from their mistakes, type thing. But one thing that I would really say is like Ubisoft.
Oh no, yeah.
I mean, what the fuck happened to Ubisoft, man?
No, here's the thing about Ubisoft, right? Is that they found themselves a franchise that a few franchises that gained a lot of traction, and then they fell into trying to be EA, where they put out a yearly fucking update for each franchise, not realizing that the reason why the franchise got to the success that it had even seen was that it was given enough due time in development and everything else and polish before it actually came out.
Right.
Let's just say this right here. Assassin's Creed, the first game, felt like an experimental game. It's not horrible, but it's not the greatest experience out there. All right. Assassin's Creed 2, motherfucking awesome. It was like they had learned what they needed to correct, and they went out of their way and they corrected it. And there are multiple portions of Assassin's Creed number 2 that I sat there, I looked at, and just like when we were talking about, the hidden gems and games that surprised us last week, one of the things about Assassin's Creed 2 that surprised me was the whole villa building, building your home base and everything. I thought to myself, I'm going to fucking hate this. And it was absolutely the favorite part of the fucking game for me, And then they went ahead, they started pushing out their sequels on a yearly basis. I don't know what the fuck they were thinking about with Revelations and then with 3. And after that, you know, when I hit that point, I was like, I don't even know if I want to pick this up. Now, I did. They're in my fucking collection. I waited until they dropped it to like $10 a fucking title. But I picked them up, you know, but it's just... And, oh my God, don't even get me fucking started on Uplay on the PC. Oh, Jesus Christ.
So, what about Sammy?
Sega and Sammy, here's the thing with Sega and Sammy, okay?
Mostly Sega.
Mostly Sega. It's mostly Sega. Because the thing is, Sammy went ahead and they're the guys who control pachinko machines over there in Japan, all right?
Right.
But they're also the reason why Konami is coming back to fucking gamers and begging for forgiveness again, all right? Because, yeah, Konami can't edge out Sammy fucking, you know, word-wise or ball-wise, okay? All right? Konami cannot make its fucking balls fit in the same space that Sammy has his balls. That's how it is, literally. Okay.
Sammy got some big ass balls.
Yeah, a lot of balls. Okay. All right. But Sammy went ahead and they co-own their Sega. All right. And I think a lot of that was probably to go ahead and have access to a lot of the Sega licenses for developing pachinko machines and stuff like that. But yeah, Sega was going to disappear at one point, even after they went third fucking party. So guess what? Going third party, if you're a fucking developer or a first party developer, isn't a catch-all fucking cure for your woes.
Especially if you don't make your fucking games right.
Exactly. So Sega, their whole thing is that they have such a huge treasure trove in front of them. Just pick something and put some real fucking imagination and thought behind it and some real development time and put it out, you know? And if you can't fucking figure it out, guess what? There's probably at least a dozen Western development houses that absolutely love your fucking franchises where somebody in there has a fucking idea how to, you know, something to do with it.
Streets of Rage.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah. Streets. Give us a real Golden Axe.
A real Golden Axe, a real Altered Beast, a real Streets of Rage. Bring back Virtual Racing. No, that's a Yu Suzuki project.
Yep. I don't know. Give us another Shining Force.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Or even before that, bring out Chapter 2 and 3 of Shining Force 3 here in the fucking States.
Exactly.
Localize that shit, put it on Virtual Console. We'll take it.
Okay, they're trying to revamp Sonic again. Not convinced, huh?
No.
No. So Sega fell from grace, absolutely, because we just named 4 or 5 titles that they could just bring out and do them right, and motherfuckers would be like, "Oh hell yes to this shit." And have it in a mode that you beat those games and you get the older games.
I'm good. Look, I mean, Nintendo put out NES Remix, okay? Xseed Games put out what's that? I think Retro Game Challenge, okay? Those Retro Game Challenge on the DS is really, really hard to find, and if you find it, you're going to be spending money out your ass for it, okay? But it's a good fucking title. NES Remix is fucking awesome. If Sega decided to go ahead and do that with their old 18 or 16-bit games,
yeah,
I would probably buy a console for that.
It's funny.
Just saying.
Sega, man, shit. See, Capcom fell from grace for me. Capcom used to be okay. Yeah, Capcom, before the fighting game era, you had the Mega Mans, you had Ghosts and Goblins, you had the 1940 series, you had quality games that Commando, you played that shit, you're like, oh yeah, this is some good shit, this is fun. And then the fighting game age came, and they were into beat 'em ups with Final Fight, and They had Magic Sword, and they had the Three Wonders. You know, fucking those games were golden, especially, you know, back in the early to mid 90s. And fucking Capcom didn't really start falling from grace until like right after Marvel vs. Capcom 2, in my opinion. Then they tried to come back, and then they were like, all right, Street Fighter 4, they fucked that up. Marvel vs. Capcom 3, they fucked that up. The 4 versions of Street Fighter 4, that was just garbage. And then you have these Resident Evil games that people don't even fucking like that they're coming out with. And it's like, okay, look, what the fuck has happened to you, Capcom? And then you bring out Street Fighter 5 with all the shit that's missing. No, you have to wait 5 months for something that's at least feasible for $60. And that's after the game is out. Capcom can still maybe earn a lot of people's trust back. They got Resident Evil 7 coming out. Maybe that can bring back fans, but people are already complaining about that. I would jump on a console, most likely, for Power Stone 3 and Rival Schools 3 if they're fucking done correctly. Period. That's just, those are my 2 wish lists the most out of probably any fucking game now. Especially since Shenmue 3 is coming out.
Yep. What about you, Gray Mouse? Anything to add on top of that?
Not on Sega, but I was going to say like Namco.
What specifically?
Well, what have they done recently? Are they finished?
True.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, because they're on gold mines too. Like, come on, guys.
Well, Namco Bandai, they are going to bring out Tekken 7.
Well, the thing about Namco is that they've. I think the thing with Namco right now is that they're kind of writing out their Shonen Jump licenses, and also it seems like they're very, very dead set on doing a lot of mashup titles over their dedicated library. Which, to tell you the truth, I'm not going to complain about so much. I don't mind waiting for another Tekken 7. Okay, I don't mind waiting for another Soul Calibur. As long as we put it out that it's complete and that it's good.
We need another Soul Calibur. Yes.
You know?
I love that series. I really do. And then you got, other than that, you got like what is it? Tycho. You know, with the whole thing about, you know, they're afraid to bring, you know, stuff over to the West because of their word about the SJWs.
Oh, you're talking about Tecmo Code?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that was a really piss poor decision by them, and they lost a little bit of credibility from me because of that. But we were still able to get that, you know, particular games through Asia Play, or was it called Asia? Play Asia. I'm sorry. And stuff, and different sites like that. But, you know, and that's one thing with these Japanese companies, what a lot of Americans don't understand, being that, you know, I've been over in Japan for almost 21 years, and the fact that I know how the Japanese work, so to speak, they're more worried about faith, about, you know, saving faith, so to speak. They're very protective about, you know, that one, even though they'll do something completely outlandish, and you're like scratching your head, like, why would they do that? But if you understood the Japanese culture, which a lot of American people don't, they just say, man, that's a fucked up company because this, and this. But if you understood the Japanese company, you kind of a little bit know where they're coming from. But if they want to be successful in the Western side, they're going to have to, you know, adopt these Western ideas that, you know what, I'm going to put this game out anyway, so fuck y'all. But they'll never do that, though. They could, you know, but most of these companies, right, that we've talked about are all Japanese companies, every one of them.
I was just about to leave that. Microsoft Studios has disappointed me
Absolutely.
very much.
Yep.
very fucking much.
Yep. You can't complain. Yep, you're
It's
right.
just the fact that they had so many fucking weapons as far as first party that they could have used to make Sony even step and Nintendo step up their games.
Yep.
Because it's just the fact that Microsoft closed down so many of their fucking branches of their studios, it doesn't make any sense. They had Fusion Frenzy. They had Crimson Skies.
Lionhead Studios.
They had MechAssault.
Yep.
I mean, they had Bloodwake. I don't understand why, out of all of those games that, you know, they came out and they were all right, that all they had to do was polish them, put them on Xbox Live, and they're golden.
Oh, they don't even have what do you call it? Dead Rising anymore. It's going multi-plat now. Dead Rising 4 is multi-plat. And
Dead Rising is Capcom, really. So
yeah, Capcom.
It is, but it's been traditionally on the Xbox.
Yeah.
For the, you know, I mean, that's what I'm not saying that that's their IP, but I mean that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the problem, the thing with Microsoft is that they're, unfortunately, as the Xbox goes, it was kind of put out there. If you know the history of it, it was kind of put out there as an experiment, and just like a lot of products that are out there, like I don't know, Windows phones or the what is it, the oh geez, the MP3 player that they put out, and fucking Microsoft Surface, which was their tablet, which is kind of funny because you know, Apple did the same thing like a few years later, and their shit took off. You know, with the Xbox, it was kind of considered to be a little bit of an experiment, and they really weren't expecting it to take off and to actually grab hold of consumers the way that it did. The thing that kills me about it is that Microsoft knows that their main bread and butter comes from the PC world as far as anything that runs Windows, and I'll accept that. But then they don't even go out of their way to even offer up any games on fucking Windows. It's like, really, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, I think Microsoft, you know, 2013, man, that's the day of reckoning for Microsoft when they really, or even before them, you know, because people weren't buying in their shit with the Xbox One.
And I have one more. To an extent, Nintendo has disappointed me. To an extent. Now,
Well,
they can correct a lot with the NX. And that's why I'm solely waiting, and I'm begging them to just come out with certain first-party titles. A 2D Metroid 5, please. I will get a console for that. I will buy a fucking console for that. I mean, yeah, there are certain things that are like Zeldas and Marios and stuff like that, and maybe even Kirby for its 25th year. But I want a fucking Metroid, man. A 2D Metroid. That would fucking... Don't do fucking Pilot Wings again and try to make that a franchise. Mario Kart is a lot. Or fucking... Yeah. Bring back WarioWare. We haven't seen that in a while.
Yep.
But, yeah. 2D Metroid... Yeah, Nintendo, come on.
I think there's a lot to say about companies that have kind of fallen out of their graces, and I really just want to go ahead.
At least those companies, still fucking exist.
Yeah,
unlike Data East or fucking
Sunsoft or
Namco,
guys. Yeah,
Acclaim.
Oh no, Acclaim. They can stay gone. Fuck Acclaim. All right.
Hudson Soft,
LJN.
Hudson Soft is gone. Yeah, you know.
What did you say?
Hudson Soft is pretty much gone. You know. But yeah, the reason why we go ahead and we point these things out is because we don't want these. It's not because we want these gaming companies to fail. It's because we'd rather see them do something else to make them succeed. You know. So don't ever walk away from any of our videos saying that we're never going to go ahead and talk bad about any any one company or publisher, because we've got some criticism to go ahead and divvy out. Believe me, 25, almost 30 years of fucking gaming experience between all of us, all right, has exposed us to quite a bit that we can talk about.
Over 30 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're talking about 34 years, somewhere around that. Yeah.
Somewhere right there.
Yep. And with that, I think we're going to go ahead and cut this video off right here. Thank you very much for sticking with us all the way through. Like I say at the end of every video, if you're so kind, hit like, hit subscribe, leave us a comment below. We like seeing more subscribers. We like responding to comments. I am the Reverend.
The theme here.
And Gray Mouse 1.
Once again, for the benefits of common sense, logic in gaming. These companies, man, some good, some bad. Just give us games. Give us good games. Please, just give us good games. Credits.
Konami, I don't care about your balls. Give us games. None of us care about your balls.